Greetings, it's Ian from RTO, and here we are again on a Saturday with my sidekick from Ireland. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Ian. How are you in this fine muggy day?
Oh, yeah, sticky. I've gone for the baggiest t-shirt I've got in my wardrobe, which comes all the way from Marrakesh, so it's going to be airy. Anyway, enough of my t-shirts. It's 1990's number 2 hits today. How did you get on with this one?
I got on okay with it, but the standard is not as good as the 80s, 70s, or 60s for me. Although there are a couple of real cracking ones in here, but generally speaking, I preferred the other decades, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the number 2 1990s was easier to do than my number ones.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
I
So we're
prefer the
going
number.
to crack on. We're going to do it the usual thing. Richard first, me second, and then the bubbling unders. So off you go.
Okay, my number 10 is actually a song that came out in 1989 and got to number 77. But then it was re-recorded in 1991, not remixed or anything, re-recorded, and it got to number 2 for 3 weeks. And it is James and Sit Down. Now, I know very little about James, but I do remember in the mid-80s, Morrissey of the Smiths used to harp on about them, but I never had seen a James album in the shops, so I never bought any. I know very, very little about it. It's a catchy, catchy song. Bought the single when it came out, and yeah, it gets my number 10.
Yeah, I like that one. Didn't put it in my list, but yeah, I like that one. It was it's a catchy old tune, isn't it? My number 10 came out in 1995, was number 2 for 1 week, and it's the Beatles, Free as a Bird. Okay, the vocals a bit yuck, but I love the arrangement because it's produced by Mr. Jeff Lynne, of course. And that's why I like it. Kept off the top spot by Earth Song by Michael Jackson.
I know you do, but I don't, never have. Free as a Bird is a weird one because it's not much of a song, but I thought they did a really good job of it. Now, whether there's a new one coming out, the third one from those sessions, I think it's Now and Then you call it, is coming out later on in the year. But I wonder if they could sort of redo the Free as a Bird to try and make John Lennon's vocals sound a little bit less echoey.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. I'll tell you what I do like about it. I love the wee end bit with the ukulele. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good choice. So it is. It didn't make my top 10, but it's still a good choice. Right, my number 9 is number 1 or number 2. God Almighty, I can't
First
even
one
get
to flop.
number 2 for 3 weeks in 1997, and it's from one of the Australian soap stars, and I can't remember whether she was in Neighbours or Home and Away. I think it was Neighbours, and it's Natalie Imbruglia and Torn. And I think it's a really good song with a really good chorus, and it's quite catchy. It does have that sort of shuffly drums in it that you used to get in the 90s, which I'm not keen on, but I think it's just an excellent, excellent song, and it deserved to get to number 2. And it stayed there for 3 weeks. I noticed there's not many. Well, there's none of mine that are over 3 weeks at number 2. So Natalie and Bruglia, Torn is my number 9.
We'll talk about that later.
We might.
Okay, my number 9 comes from 1993, and again it was 1 week at number 2, and it's What's Up for Non-Blondes.
I was nearly going to pick that.
Yeah, I love that song. I think it's just, again, a catchy tune, kept off number 1 by Pray Take That.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but I prefer the Four Non-Blondes. I mean, I didn't have many hits, but that was a good one, and it was a big number at the time.
I actually bought the CD on the strength of that when it came out, and I played What's Up and thought it was great, and then I thought the rest of the CD was absolute garbage. It sort of put me off What's Up a bit, because it was a bit like Berlin. Whenever I bought or borrowed their album, I loved You Take My Breath Away, and the rest of it was garbage. But it's a good song.
Yeah.
My number 8 is from 1999, and it got to number 2 for 1 week. And this is also, I think it's a re-recording as well. If not, it's actually a remix. I think it's a Tin Tin Out remix, and it's the Corrs and Runaway. And I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful melodic voice. I love Andrea Corr's voice. I really do. I just love Andrea Corr, full stop. And I actually love Sharon and Garline as well. But there you go. That's just me. But yeah, Runaway. I can't believe this didn't get to number 1. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And there's a little bit of an Irish feel to it as well.
Yeah, it's a great track from a good album. So yeah, I like that one. My number 8 is your number 9.
Ah, right. Okay. We nearly matched.
Yes, but I mean, it's actually a cover.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was done. Someone called in 1995. It was done by Tareen Rhiann, and then the original is Dream in 1994. Something
All right.
like that. Kept off number 1 by Barbie Doll Aqua. What some pants records were out in the 90s, and that's got to be one of them, Barbie Girl.
I will admit it's crap as well. So there you go. Yeah, it's a really good song. And Natalie Imbruglia, who did she play? Did she play Beth or I
Yes,
think
her
it's
name was Beth in that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
oh, she was
I like her in Johnny English for that. She was good in that.
right. Number 7 for me. We'll be singing when we're winning. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I love it. Chumbawamba and Top Thumping, 3 weeks in number 2 in 1997. I think it's fantastic. You know, some of the lyrics are a bit rude as well, like pissing the night away. Well, I think it's pissing the night away. Well, it sounds like it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like them. I got a bootleg album of theirs one time, and it was supposedly cover versions, and it was really good, but they're not really cover. For example, they did Solid Gold Easy Action, and it's 7 minutes long, and the only reference to Solid Gold Easy Action is they sing "I Can't Get No Satisfaction." That's it, and they call it Solid Gold, but it's really, really good. But Top Thumping is such an upbeat song, and I had to get in my top 10, so that's my number 7. Chumbawamba, Top Thumping.
Just missed out, but it won't be the last time we talk about it. So, okay, my number 7. We got a 1998 now. 1 week and number 2. Probably my favourite song by Madonna. Ray of Light.
All right, okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's an excellent track. It is a best. It was produced by William Orbit, of course, who sort of revitalised her career. And then it went down the pan again. You know, should have stopped with him. Kept off number 1 by All Saints with Under the Bridge, which is a cover of a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, and Lady Marmalade as well, the double A side. I preferred Under the Bridge. It wasn't a very good version of Lady Marmalade.
Well, there you go. I couldn't put Madonna in because I've got her a different one in the Bubbling Unders. So I have. Right, my number 6, and you're a fan of this guy, and I'm really a fan only if Jim Steinman wrote the songs. But this is the exception that I think is really, really good because it sounds like a Jim Steinman song, and it was written by Diane Warren, who also wrote another song for what you call Paloma Faith, Only Love Can Hurt Like This, which I think is brilliant as well. But anyway, the song is I'd Lie For You, and That's the Truth. 1 week in 1995, went straight in at number 2, and then started going down. It's brilliant. I love the piano in it. I love the female vocal in it. And it just sounds as if it is actually a Jim Steinman written song. Works so well. And it gets my number 6.
Yeah, great track. It's not in mine, but I do agree. It's as near as to Jim as you can get.
Yeah, it is. It's very good.
I think Meatloaf could have sang that as well.
Meatloaf did sing it.
No, I mean, not Meatloaf. Cher, because
Cher, yes, yeah,
I
or
didn't
even
say Meatloaf.
I don't know, or even and don't go like this here. Even Bonnie Tyler could have sung that.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I was thinking of Meatloaf. Cher, I should have said Cher because I did that Black Rose the other day, and I said it the other way around. Senior moment for me and folks.
Worry about it.
Anyway, my number six is from 1997. Another 1 week at the top. At the bottom, number two, I mean, not the top. And it's a song written by Joe South, done by Deep Purple twice, and it's Cooler Shaker's version of Hush.
Yeah,
What a great version of it. It is, I think it's a little bit better than the original Deep Purple version.
I missed it. I just missed it when I was going through them all. I probably would have had it in my bubbling unders, but no, I just missed it completely. It's a
Yeah,
really good.
brilliant. It's kept off the top by Don't Speak and No Doubt.
Right, okay. I would know it if I heard it, I'm sure.
Yes, all right.
Right, well, my first real guilty pleasure is coming up now at number 5. I got to number 2 for 3 weeks in 1994, and it is Ace of Base and I Saw the Sign. I love it, I always have. It's just catchy as hell. It's a really good pop song. They're from Sweden, I think.
Yeah.
So, so they're like a second-rate ABBA, but still, I really do enjoy it. I didn't like the other one, the one they actually got to number 1 with, which I can't remember the name of it. But the sign is just so catchy and gets my number 5. Had to get in there.
Yeah. Well, it's a pop song, I suppose, is one of the better pop songs, but it's still not, doesn't float my boat. Okay, my number 5 is from 1992, and it's an operatic duet from Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballé. Barcelona. I absolutely adore that, and I love the album as well. See, if Freddie would have lived, he'd have become an opera singer.
I was going to pick that, but it's a little bit like the George Harrison one for the number 1s we did.
Yeah.
I look at that as the 80s because it got top 10 in 1986 or something like that there, and then only got back in after Freddie died. But it is absolutely brilliant song. I really do enjoy it, and I'm glad you picked it so I don't feel as bad now.
Yeah, kept off the top spot by Snap and Rhythm is a Dancer.
No.
Yeah, another one that should never have been number 1.
I suppose that was the sign of the times then. Those sort of dancey.
Yeah.
That's whenever the charts went all tits up for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, my number 4, and it's 1 week in 1994. It's a very short song. It's only about 3 minutes long. And it's so atmospheric, and it's Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia, which I think is wonderful. It really is great. The backing vocals, I think, are fantastic. And there's a female backing vocal, and you only actually hear her for about 3 seconds, and it just transforms the song. It's near the end of the song. I love it, absolutely love it. And it gets my number 4.
Might talk about that later as well. I think it's his wife doing the Patty Shape.
Is it? Oh, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's a good song. Okay.
My brother, just to let you know, my brother is actually over in England at the moment. I think it was last night or tonight that he's gone to see Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, so. I've seen that on YouTube. It's the full concert. It's fantastic. My number 4, you'll like this one. 1998, 1 week. The Beautiful South, Perfect 10.
Oh, it's very good.
Absolute
but
master.
It didn't make my top 10.
I love the video to it. I love the double entendres.
What I did, I made 16 songs and I played them in the car. And I think The Beautiful South was originally going to be in my top 10. But I think I've overheard it a little bit. And the other ones I haven't heard for ages, and I just got more enjoyment out of it. So that's why it just slipped out of the
You know
top
what
10.
kept
But
it off number one?
oh,
Four little girls from Ireland called Bewitched
oh God,
and
oh,
Roller Coaster.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
well. So top three, and these three are all really, really good. And my number three is 2 weeks in 1995, and it's probably one of the best Brit pop songs, and it's Supergrass and All Right. And the piano, great, the guitar, great, even the video, great. Whenever they're going around in those old chopper bicycles, it's just catchy as hell. It's from their debut album, I Should Coco. But yeah, All Right, my number three, great track.
Didn't make it, but like you were Barcelona, it's the same. I'm glad it's in there because it deserves some mention. It was a great song from one of the, as you say, one of the better Brit pop songs. Everyone was the same sort of thing, and then this come along and thought, well, this is different. They've gone the other way. They don't want to be like the rest of them. And it is a great song, and it's from a great album. That debut album is a brilliant album.
It's the best, in my view.
Okay, my top three, again, three great songs, all Brit pop-ish. My first one's from 1997, sorry. 1 week from a band that have got a new album coming out next month. And it's Blur and Song 2. I just love this. It's heavy. It's probably the heaviest song they ever did. And I love the video to it. I mean, Damien, with that, the fans in it, it's just a cracking song. I just love it.
It is good. Didn't make my top 10, but so far in your top 10, you have got three of my bubbling unders. So you
Oh,
have.
yeah, kept off number one by R. Kelly's I Believe I Could Fly.
Right, okay. But apparently, song two only stayed in the charts for about 5 weeks.
Yeah, it came in. I think it came straight in at number two, and then 1 week, and then it just gone within with the five. As you said, the 5 weeks, it'd gone out the top 40, gone.
Mm.
It's a good
Well,
song.
it's a good song. Right, my number two, and it was released in the end of 1991, and it got to number two in 1992 and stayed there for 2 weeks. And it's the KLF with Tammy Wynette and Justified and Ancient, which I think is brilliant. Now, if Tammy Wynette's voice was not on that, it probably wouldn't even get the top 10. But it's her voice mixed with that sort of dance groove that really, really works. You know, it started in the 80s whenever people like, what do you call it, Dusty Springfield worked with Pet Shop Boys. That was okay, but this one I think works even more. And it's so catchy. It really is. Ice Cream Van, and it's absolutely means nothing, but it's a brilliant, brilliant single, and that's my number two.
Yeah, it didn't make my top 10 or me bubbling unders, but I think if it weren't, as you said, without Tammy, it'd have been, I think, pretty ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
But it needed a class country singer to give it that.
No, it's because she's country and this is dance, and you put them together, it just works so well.
Yes. My number two, we're going to 1995 for this one. 2 weeks at number two, and it should have been number one because it was kept off by Unchained Melody, Robson and Jerome. Yeah. And it's Pulp and the brilliant Common People. I just love this song. Catchy, disco-y Britpop. One of the best songs of the 90s.
Yeah, I agree. It's absolutely brilliant. That is why it's my number one. So your number two is my number one, Pulp and Common People. Now the single edit is not quite as good as the LP version because I'm more used to the LP version. It's longer, but the song builds and builds and builds, and it's a really good song to play in the car. Excellent, you know, it's a really brilliant driving song. I'm not a huge Pulp fan. I do have a couple of their albums, but Common People is by far the best track they've ever done. And I agree, it should have been number one. And it is the best Britpop single ever.
Yeah,
review.
and for those of you who've never heard the album version, that's what I'm putting in the playlist today. I'm not putting in the single version because it makes it even better. So you got a little treat. So watch the playlist. Okay, my number one from 1997. Again, this should have been at number one. It was 1 week, and it's the Verve and Bittersweet Symphony. I just adore this song. Brilliant stuff. I mean, they're a great band, but Richard Allcroft is just, the string arrangements on that is wonderful. It's a great video. You know what kept it off number one? Puff Daddy and Faith Evans and their diabolical hash. I'll be missing you.
That's the Every Breath You Take thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? No?
it should never have been number one because it's not their song. But I'm sure the boys from Police got some acres for it. Well, they deserve to.
Well, is it not the case as well with Bittersweet Symphony that the music of that has been nicked from Andrew Luke Oldham's version of one of the Rolling Stones tracks?
Yeah, but I think they did get their royalties, but that was a blatant. Puff Daddy was more blatant.
I didn't have Bittersweet Symphony, but I did have something that's connected to it in my bubbling unders.
Okay, so that was a good top 10. Lots of differences as well.
It's not a bad top 10 at all. It really isn't.
Okay, let's hear your bubblies then.
Okay. Well, we'll go straight to this one that is very similar in a way to Bittersweet Symphony. And it's Fat Les and Vindaloo from 1998. And 3 weeks at number 2 is one of the football songs for England. And they use the same video, but it's hilarious. It really is, because your guy that's walking along the street, you know, all cool, he trips up and he gets slapped and all the rest of it. And it's just magnificent. And you even have Eddie Tudorpole join in as well in the walk along the footpath. I think it's fantastic. I really do. And even Keith Allen, I think, is very good at, even though I'm not a Keith Allen fan, but still, it works really, really well. It's catchy as hell. It's the best England football song.
That's got weird lyrics, isn't it?
But it's brilliant. It's a proper football song because it's a real sing-along one. Yeah. Whereas things like New Order, World of Motion, and I never was a keen fan of Three Lions.
Oh, no.
That was one bubbling under. Another one you had, and that's the Beatles' Free as a Bird, which I do think is not a bad effort. Now, there's a channel called Beatley Tones Beatle Channel. He's a great guy. He's from London, West Ham supporter, unfortunately. But he did a video on whether Free as a Bird and Real Love, and I suppose this new one, are real Beatles songs. He seems to think they are. I'm not so sure. Even though all 4 Beatles are on Free as a Bird, it sounds like a Jeff Lynne song to me, but still, it's very good.
Yes.
My third bubbling under you had as well a song 2 by Blur, so I can't say very much about that. My fourth bubbling under you said was as well, which is Perfect 10, but I am going to give you 2 more that you didn't mention. One is from 1990 for 1 week at number 2, and it's Madonna's Justify My Love, which is very erotic. So it is. And she went further with the Erotica single in 92, but it's not as good. I really do like it. And it's got a very erotic video as well in black and white. And then we'll finish with a guilty pleasure. And this is more guilty than the use of bass. And it's Teaspoon, Sex on the Beach for 1 week in 1990. Again, I always have loved it, and I think it's great. It very nearly made the top 10, but I couldn't justify it and Ace of Base being in the top 10, so it got a bubbling under. So,
yeah, we got to remember then we was what in our late 20s, weren't we?
Although I was over 30, I know you were the same.
Yeah, I don't know, what was it, 90?
98. I was 32, and you were coming 32 at the end of that year.
Yeah, early 30s, like, yeah.
So it's a really good pop song.
Okay, well, some of my bubbling unders we've already spoken about. The first one is from 1994, Bruce Springsteen's Street of Philadelphia. Great song. You've said it all. My next one was from 1992, One Week. Def Leppard, probably one of the only songs off Adrenaline's I really do like, and it's the first track, Let's Get Rocked.
I don't know.
No, pretty good. The other one you've said is Tub Thumping, Chumbawamba.
Hey, glad to hear it.
But because it's absolutely belting, My Guilty Pleasure from the 90s. This is the next one.
Oh, here we go.
6 weeks at number 1, which was a lot but it was kept up number 1 by Bryan Adams. I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Oh, well, that justifies me having Ace of Base and Fat Les and Teaspoon in there, because that's
I thought it was so catchy. And it was a bit different for the time. And, you know, and the thing is, they've reformed and they're out there performing now. And good luck to the boys. It's great. And I'm going to end up with my favourite band. And one of the only songs of the 90s that I liked. And it's not even one of theirs. It's one of their covers. And it's the Anniversary Waltz Part 1.
No.
But it shouldn't be the part 1 because it's actually the second bit, because they brought it out as a thing. Part 2 was part 1, but it's the only. I don't mind that one because it's got. I like the bit I really like is when they do Red River Rock.
Right.
But this, you know, the Wanderer. Yeah, why did they have to do that one? But yeah, it's probably the only thing from the 90s that was worth talking about. Status Quo.
I wouldn't say that. There's some good stuff in the 90s. Well, maybe you're right, actually.
Yeah, I don't know what kept it off number 1, but yeah, well, that was really good.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Someone did suggest we do the 50s, but I'm struggling.
Well, there's not very many number 2s in the 50s, because I had a look and I actually only know about 3 of them. So we could do a top 3, but
yeah,
no.
So whoever suggested it got sorry that I think we both come to the conclusion it's very difficult to do that one because there isn't much around. I think I found 4 that I really liked, so it would be the shortest show in history. I couldn't, you know, it'd be 7 songs, no bubbling unders. So unfortunately, we're not going to cover the 50s on this series. I'm sure we'll cover the 50s again at some stage. Well, that's concluded all the our favourite number 2 hits. We've now got to put our heads together and come up with another theme thing for you. So don't worry.
Unless somebody from who's watching this wants to put in a suggestion, and we'll consider it.
Yes, get your in. So in the comments below, put some suggestions, and we'll go through them together, and we'll find if we can do something for you. There we go. So once again, Richard, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. And thank you for the other night. What a great live stream that was.
I'll be on again on Thursday night.
Oh, so there you go, folks. Richard, there's one confirmed guest.
Mm-hmm. But I have to be early because everybody's trying to get on now.
Yeah, they are.
There's no hanging about anymore.
No, it's growing, isn't it? The fastest growing live stream. Anyway, I will speak to you on Thursday then, Richard. So it only leaves me to say, and it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. Bye.